Joburg, it's a vibrant city. The vibe that the informal traders create when they are there on the street, the interaction with the customers, it brings the city actually alive.
They bring a certain life to the city. It actually defines Joburg.
There are 8,000 informal traders trading every day in the inner city of Johannesburg, in everything from clothes to DVDs to fruit to vegetables.
I've never woken up even one day to say I'm going to look for a job. But every day you wake up and say I've got a job.
I like fashion too much. I communicate with my customers very easily. If it's not best for you, then I need to tell you this won't look nice on you. Because the more you look nice, the more you will bring customers for me. Not just an informal trader, the way they call us. I see myself as a business person because at the end of the day, I'm contributing to the economy of this country.
From my school days, 14, 15 years of age, started by selling chocolates at school. My parents passed away around 2003, both my parents. So I think I became the father figure of the family where my 2 young brothers and my sister were still at school. With this informal trading, it managed to push so that they all finished their schooling. 2 of them are currently working. It's about survival. One household has got about 4 or 5 dependents that are benefiting from that one stall that the trader has.
Most of the time our clients are people that don't have time to go to the shops. On the street, you can negotiate a price. That relates to Ubuntu, the humanity we have. I think it will be a great blow to the working class if they can close down street trading.
They want to create a city that has got no informal traders, and during those 2-3 months, that is what they created, a city without informal traders, and that was Operation Clean Sweep.
You know, sometimes we don't even want to hear the word clean sweep because the moment you hear clean sweep, it reminds us of what happened. My street was the first street that was actually affected by the clean sweep campaign.
They started in Klein Street and started moving to Plain Street and other streets, closing all the streets block by block. They removed all the stalls within the whole CBD area.
Let's go.
The police swept through the inner city and evicted every single one of the 8,000 informal traders that worked there. It cut down their stalls, it confiscated their goods. Informal traders were assaulted, their property was taken from them. Overnight, the city made 8,000 people utterly destitute.
The informal traders were paying rental on a monthly basis. They had lease agreements. You cannot just remove someone that you have a lease agreement with. This was an act of criminality against the informal traders.
The promise was that it's only for 1 week. Everyone actually was not allowed to come back. We were really scared. We really never knew when are we going to start having income or money generated into our pockets again.
It was very bad because street trading has become our livelihood. We support our families from there. Got 3 children that were school going. End of the month I got to pay my rent. I must buy food for the kids, and that was very bad.
Informal traders are very reluctant to litigate against the city. And for a long time there was a period of negotiation, an attempt to negotiate a way back onto the streets. And eventually the South African Informal Traders Federation realized that negotiation wasn't going to cut it. It was at that point that I think our clients decided that they'd had enough, and they came to instruct SERI and ask us what we could do to provide a legal remedy.
It helped a lot in uniting the informal traders. We had differences, we had our own politics, but we just dropped everything down and say, let us focus on the clean sweep. Then we marched, and the march was very successful, it was well attended. Then that's when we met SERI. We explained to them what was happening, what we wanted, and then we launched a case with the High Court.
We went with SERI to High Court. The High Court judges say it's not a matter of urgency, where people are sleeping hungry, children cannot go back to school again. So it was really bad for everyone.
People have been surviving in the street of Joburg for more than 15 years. And then you cannot come now and say, go home. Where do you expect those people to go?
We'd been told, astonishingly by the High Court, that somehow this wasn't urgent. And we had gone to the Constitutional Court not really expecting a hearing. We thought we'd be told to go away and go to another court. The city's arguments were all procedural. There was a lot of talk of pedestrians being able to move freely through the inner city now, in a way that they somehow couldn't before. The mayor of the city, in particular, took advantage of the situation. And instead of admitting what they'd done was wrong, they saw this as a huge opportunity to get rid of informal trading in one fell swoop. Nothing could have prepared us, though, for the level of outrage from every single member of the court. They were shocked that the government could do this. And the highest court in the land, and one of the most famous courts in the world, turned around and said, no, you will not do this, you cannot do this.
A victory for hawkers. It's been months of not knowing where their next meal would come from.
We won the case, and we're given a court order where they said everyone must go back to the street with the immediate effect.
And when the judge said with immediate effect, people were just ecstatic that as of today I will be able to buy bread. It was joy of being able to make a livelihood, joy that we were proven right.
This is the intersection where law meets justice. What happened here today is that the law met with justice. My clients will be able to make their living.
My clients were they were so excited. They were on cloud nine.
The order was handed down at 3 o'clock that afternoon, and the atmosphere was electric.
People just moved back to the streets, took out their wares from their storerooms and started trading. They started shooting using rubber bullets, but they were shooting people at close range.
Many people were hurt by JMPD. It was worse than the Clean Sweep campaign itself.
A young woman had all her hair pulled out by about 20 Metro Police officers for having taken a video of them assaulting another informal trader.
We called Nomzamo to say, Nomzamo, there's a challenge. The police are not recognizing this court order.
And Nomzamo went down to try and help enforce the order. And the answer she got from one of the police officers was, we don't take orders from civilians.
10 policemen came around me, and then I was charged with public violence and interfering with the police officer.
When Nomzamo was arrested, she became more of a sister to us than a lawyer or an attorney.
I remember screaming in the back of a police van because in my mind I was saying, if this is happening in this country at this moment, then what do we fight for? What did my parents fight for? If really we fought for a democracy, it can't be that a city will come down and attack its poorest people who are working their hardest to make a living for their children. The amazing things that after that, people were allowed to trade. There was less harassment than even before Clean Sweep. The Constitutional Court's order hangs over them. You know, it's like an invisible shield.
The Constitutional Court, I think, is there to protect the rights of every citizen of this country.
Now, at least we have gained some respect from the city itself, even from the media itself that never recognized us. We were very much relieved about everything.
What the city is now trying to do is achieve, through legal means, what it couldn't achieve by brute force. What we're trying to do is help the traders engage with the city to ensure that as a long-term solution that meets the reasonable needs of city planners and city managers to ensure that traffic can move through the city, but also allows people to make a living.
Street trading is all over the world. There's street trading in New York, it happens in Singapore, it happens in Sao Paulo, in Brazil. There is no way that it could not happen in Johannesburg. They're saying Joburg needs to be a world-class African city, but they need to work with us. The law needs to be respected and by everybody, including the city council. I think that it would be great for the country.
If people are able to have a livelihood, then they can start to reach their own goals and have the space where they can live freely.